Welcome to Focus Washington. I'm Chuck Conconi, and my guest today here is Barbara Heller. She's an architect and one of the leading experts in large construction projects, including the Pentagon restoration of after the 9/11 disaster. Welcome. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Chuck.
There's a number of things. I mean, we have this $1 trillion stimulus package that President Obama is talking about, and a good part of it is going to be for major construction projects, infrastructure. How is that going to work? Do you think there's a way to make that work efficiently so that the money isn't wasted?
Well, I think the goals of the program are multiple. I think this early stimulus package is going to be directed primarily at shovel-ready projects, which means projects that have already been designed, have already received local approval, and are just ready to get going as a way to put money back into the economy, create jobs, and create consumption. But I think down the long term, it's going to be really important for the government to take a serious look at the types of infrastructure projects that need to be done and that will help facilitate growth in the future, because in reality, we've been neglecting our infrastructure, not just its maintenance and repair, but in planning for the future. You know, when I grew up, we had excess highway capacity and excess airport capacity, and now we don't.
Well, as an architect and someone who's worked in this area, how do you control this? I mean, these are major construction projects in a variety of areas.
Well, it's very important to do proper planning and control and understand how you're going to measure your results and gain from these projects, and of course get the most for your money. You know, I think President Eisenhower approached the interstate highway projects with a military orientation. He was used to creating supply chain infrastructure for military troops, and he sort of took the same approach with the interstate highway. In fact, every 100 miles along the interstate highway there is a 1 mile flat, straight strip because it is an emergency airstrip. Oh. Not very many people know that.
I never knew that. But you really believe that government can really give good leadership in this? I mean, what we're talking about is the kind of leadership you can offer.
Well, it's a very intriguing crossroads for the government, because for the last 30 years we've kind of seen shrinkage of government, more outsourcing of government, and decline of government leadership. And all of a sudden the government is being asked to make a U-turn and start to be incredibly proactive and effectively and efficiently spend these large sums of money. So I think that it's a real opportunity for them to seize leadership and make these projects work well.
How will we keep that efficient and not waste taxpayers' money?
Well, I think one of the things the government has to do is craft a really strong leadership role for itself. And I think that there are precedents for that. I think that the Pentagon renovation is a really good example, because not only was the damaged wing rebuilt in 1 year under budget and on schedule, but the rest of the renovation is also under budget and on schedule because it had particularly effective leadership. It had excellent procurement. It used an incentive system for its contractors, and it demanded accountability. So I think that with the right leadership and the right organization, the government can be very successful.
How can they do that, though? I mean, now you run a consulting firm that you founded, DC Strategies. Is this what you do? Do you help government do this kind of thing? Or do you help the companies do this?
Well, what we do is, in many cases, is study the work process and point out ways that it can be made more efficient through the use of technology. But I think that there are both technology issues and cultural issues that the government's going to have to address, because the construction industry, even though it's the second largest industry in this country, is essentially an agglomeration of cottage industries. And each one of them operates with some autonomy. So if the government wants to be really effective and standardize some of the outcomes of these projects and measure their efficiency and understand better what they're buying, they're going to have to craft a new leadership role, which I think will really improve the construction industry in the long run and benefit everyone.
And tell me, what are the technologies that can help make this more efficient?
Well, there's building information modeling, there's geospatial technology, there are all kinds of analytical tools, there are even ways for somebody in a central office to communicate with the bulldozer operator who's grading a road to give them geospatial coordinates that allow them to do their work much more efficiently. There's a convergence of design technology and communication technology and engineering technology that's really intriguing and powerful.
Now, what are some of the other big projects, though, you've done here in Washington recently? I mean, I talked to you
Well,
about them earlier, and I found them quite impressive.
We worked on the museum, the National Museum of the American Indian, the renovation and rehabilitation of National Airport. We're working on the People Mover project at Dulles Airport. And we were the only DC firm to be involved in the construction of the FDR Memorial.
What an incredible thing it is. Barbara, thank you for being here. I hope we can do this again sometime.
Thank
I'm
you.
Chuck Conconi, and this has been Focus Washington.